Thanks for joining me here at Crossing the Line. I'm your host, Isaac King. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment down below. Now let's get into it. Dictator Dan's at it again. Dan slammed for a nanny state rules in Victorian parks. Let's see what he's up to again, shall we? Daniel Andrews has been accused of trying to install a nanny state rules across his city, state and regional parks. Walkers and riders caught not using government-sanctioned trails could face heavy fines, while swimmers could be barred from some waterways without a permit. The new rules, which will affect more than 50 city and regional parks across Victoria, were outlined in the government's proposed metropolitan and regional park regulations. Changes include a fine of up to $924 for walking off a park trail. Real fucking freedom there in Victoria, eh? It's fucking astounding what this prick has been up to. Victorians conducting an intrusive research, interfering with wildlife, soil, rocks, vegetation, or visitors, or that contravenes any regulation applying to the park could be hit with a $1,472 fine. Now, if you're going around destroying the environment and fucking up shit and hurting animals and that, there's already rules and regulations and fines and shit in place for that. We have it all over the country. All over the world has things like that. Why would you need to expand on those laws? There's already fines and shit in place for doing that. Those wanting to swim in a body of water at a park will require a permit unless that waterway has been clearly designated for swimming. What the fuck? I'm so glad I don't live in Victoria. Rock climbers, abseilers, hang gliders and paragliders will also need a permit unless an area has been designated for it. How are you going to fucking find them? Just go, oh, there's police down there. I'm not going to fucking land there again. Remember when COVID lockdowns were on and that guy was gliding up the beach in a parachute, warning people that the cops are coming? That was fucking awesome.
Cops are coming. Cops are coming. The police are coming. The police are coming up the hill.
Those wanting to fill up a chainsaw with fuel or oil could also cop an $1,840 fine. The rules, which are currently in a consultation process, are due to come into force before the upcoming November 26 election. Speaking to The Australian, a spokeswoman for the Environment Minister, Lily D'Ambrosio, said the reforms would be pursued only to preserve parks or heritage. The department is considering the submissions and will develop recommendations for the minister in coming weeks. But the opposition accused the government of failing to strike a balance between protecting parks and intruding on liberties. Dan Andrews doesn't give a fuck about anyone's liberties. He has shown his true colours at the start of COVID. The most locked down city, the most locked down state in the whole fucking world was Victoria and Melbourne. Instead, Labor takes a nanny state approach and has repeatedly taken extreme measures which lock land away from the community, James Newbury said. Conservation relies on the community being involved, invested in the future of our unique lands. It's completely fucking right. There's a lot of places that we're losing access to around Australia. Ayers Rock, we lost access to that. The Cape, we've just given that back to Indigenous members up there. And we're probably going to lose access to that. With Fraser Island, they're wanting to hand that back over to traditional landowners. We're going to lose access to our entire fucking country by people like Daniel Andrews, the Greens, activists that want to give back land to native Indigenous people, which is a complete and utter load of bullshit. Daniel Andrews is a prime example of why we are losing our own country. He is taking away what little rights we have, what little freedoms we have to even go outside. You can't even go outside and walk around the bush. In Australia, you cannot go into the outback and walk around without getting a fine now. This is going to come in on, what did you say, the 26th of November? It's insane. $924 fine for walking off a designated trail in a park. That's fucking insane. There's already laws surrounding everything. Well, you can't drive four-wheel drives up a lot of beaches anymore. You need to get permits and pay for that. Within my lifetime, we will not be able to go to Fraser Island. That will be banned. You will not be able to go to Fraser Island, which is a huge. It's the world's largest sand island. If you look on Google Maps, it's massive. And one day soon, we will not be able to go there. One day even sooner, we won't be able to go up to the Cape. If you do four-wheel driving or caravanning, camping, anything like that, there's a lot of places you can't go in Australia without actually paying a fee to the local Indigenous people, so you can drive on their roads or go into their land that they've been given back from the government. East Arnhem Land, that area around there. You can't go on beaches, you can't fish without paying local Indigenous people for a ticket, which I'd rather give them the money than have to pay for a permit to go fishing like we do with our government. I'd rather give the local Indigenous people $60 to go fishing there than I'd rather give it to the government, you know? Like, no, I'd rather give them $100 to drive up the beach than give it to the government. But no, we're going to lose all of our rights of our land, and we can't even walk off a fucking trail in Victoria. Filling up a chainsaw. You can't fill up a chainsaw. What the fuck's to go with that? How are you going to stop people from paragliding and hang gliding over land that's not deemed a hang gliding spot? You know, I don't know about you, but I don't think they usually stay in one spot very long. It's insanity. This is the reason people have to get out and vote and change these fucking laws. Because once a law's in place, it never gets rescinded. We don't get rid of a law. We usually keep them on the books and then just pile on it. And then those laws might not affect you now, but when they go and add to those laws in 3 to 5, 10 years' time, they're going to affect you then. You might not worry about, I'm not going to walk off a trail in a park, a wildlife park. What if your dog goes for a walk and you have to go and get it in the wildlife guy, I don't know what they call them down there, the parks ranger, sees you do that, that's $1,000 out of your pocket because you walked off a trail. $1,000 because you go swimming in a place that's not designated for swimming. That's insanity. It's fucking insane. And he wants to build his nanny state in the nanny state of Victoria. Vote this bastard out. He's a fucking fool of the highest degree. He locked down his entire state and his entire fucking city, put people in jail for protesting against his fucking mandates, arrested them, pepper sprayed and arrested fucking news reporters, kicked them out of the state. He stopped people from seeing their loved ones, seeing their dying relatives, from being at going to funerals and weddings and that, because he thought he was the fucking dictator. This big-eared fucking moron with no brain in his head goes and tells you that you're not allowed to go and see your fucking relative. Tells you you're not allowed to go and see your dying fucking grandmother in hospital. Tells you you're not allowed to go and see your wife give birth. Tells you you're not allowed to travel more than 5 kilometers from your fucking home because of a fucking cold. This big-eared fucking dictator motherfucker tells you you're not allowed to work for your fucking living. You're not allowed to go to work. I had a mate who lives in Melbourne. He's a builder. He was working on government contracts. It got down to the point where he had to sack all of his staff so he couldn't keep them employed. He was allowed to go to work, but only by himself with his fucking vaccination and a mask on. How the fuck is a builder going to build anything by him fucking self in a timely fashion? It nearly destroyed him. His 2 kids grew up in lockdown. That's all they ever knew. Like, they're too young to know. But they grew up and their entire life up to this point was in lockdown. Isn't that fucking insane to you? Doesn't that make you wonder what kind of fucking human being does this? But not only did he do it, all around the country they did it. We built fucking concentration camps, for fuck's sakes. And everyone's like, oh no, it'll never get that bad. Oh no, you will still be able to go out. No, you're not. You weren't. Now you're going to be fined for swimming in a fucking pond or a creek or a beach that isn't deemed swimmable. Because the government doesn't want you to fucking swim there. Government doesn't want you to walk off a fucking path. Do you know how fucking insane that is? Do you know how quickly that can be fucking changed and upgraded to something even worse? You're not allowed to walk into a fucking bushland. That's insanity. We live in Australia. 90% of Australia is the bush. And people like this fucking idiot keep taking away fucking people's freedoms. This fucking moron needs to be voted out. People when it comes to the elections, I think they're next month, later on in this year, vote this fucking wanker out. Vote these people out. He is the scum of the fucking earth. He is a moron. Dictator fucking Dan. He will go down in history as a dictator. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.